When it comes to building a web app or a mobile app, there are so many ways to do so. So we have programming languages, we have no-code tools, and we have also AI tools. And for most people, this is so confusing, so they don't know what to choose. So we all know that no-code is the best option, and in this video, I will prove that to you. So make sure to watch until the end so you can see why no-code is the best option when it comes to building web apps and mobile apps. So the first thing we are going to be talking about is coding. So if you want to build a mobile app, you can go with something like Flutter or React Native. So these are just like frameworks that allows you to build a functioning mobile app and deploy it, and people will actually start using it. So when you go to code, like it's usually like the first thing that people think of is that it is hard. So yeah, like learning to code takes a lot of time just to master the basics. It will take you a lot of time, and even once you master the basics, it is actually just generally difficult to build with code than with no code. So again, as I told you, FlutterFlow is one of the best. Like when you go to, for example, just like this, this code piece, you can do all of this in maybe one line or one small line in FlutterFlow. While look at this, it clearly looks very, very complicated. So the first way, as I told you, is code. This is the traditional way, and some people are still right now using the building apps with code. But as I told you, for a lot of people, like a huge portion of people, they hate they hate code just because it is so complicated for them, and it is natural. So I don't like code because it's complicated for me. It takes a lot of time to master and a lot of time to build a real app with it. So this is like the first thing, and it's commonly known, and it's a commonly known issue with code, but it's okay. So now the next way of building apps is gonna be to go with something like Bubble.ai. So this is like where AI builds you the app. So I want to actually say something about this. So the first thing, like what we see on YouTube or on ads or just like marketing in general, we just see people like just glazing these AI tools. Just they tell you, hey, come here, enter a prompt, just like if you were talking to ChatGPT, and Bolt.new will just give you an app. So I don't want to say that is false. It is true. Yeah, I can type in something, click build. No, it will build it for me. But as a real developer, and I have actually built so many apps, like there is no way you will build an app like the way you want with one prompt. So you will actually have to constantly make updates and changes. And this is where I hate AI. Just imagine now you have an app. Let's say all of this dashboard is your app, and you want to change the color of this button. So if I want to change the color, I have to come here and say, hey, please change the color of a certain button, blah blah blah. So see here, like everything that you want to do with this app, you have to type it in. And for me, it's a really bad way to actually build with AI. Because here, like in FlutterFlow, if I want to change the color, this icon, I can click on it, click here, and then change it. Boom. So I did it in maybe in 2 or maybe 2.5 seconds. But here I have to come here and say, hey, please change this color to this and that. And that's honestly a really bad way to build, because right now you have to differentiate between AI, like between building and editing. AI can definitely build you something instantly, yes, but for a developer, you don't just build, you build and edit. And editing is where I hate AI so much, because I really don't want to be typing like I want to change the font, or I want to make this instead of 12 pixels, I want to make it 4 pixels in size. I don't want to be doing this here. I want to actually just come here, click on the text, and go to properties and change the size to 16 and call it a day. See here how fast it is compared to AI. So I just want you to be aware that the marketing is different than the reality. All right, and I don't want you to fall for that. So in a nutshell, like using no-code and FlutterFlow specifically for mobile apps, or Bubble.io for the web, like using these tools and building with these tools is actually the best way. It is way less complicated and way more easier than learning the traditional code. And also when it comes to editing, it is way faster than AI. So again, editing your app with AI is such a a pain in the head, and I just see that no code here wins by a huge margin. And for example, when you go to FlutterFlow, they also have an option to add custom code. So let's say, for example, like in this project, I just wanted to have some functions and functionalities, and I couldn't find them on FlutterFlow. So they told me, hey, if you could find something natively in our platform, you can add it. So I went to ChatGPT, it has generated some functions for me, and I have just included them here in this project, and the project is working just fine. So again, using no-code tools such as Bubble.io and FlutterFlow again are like the best, because if you can learn FlutterFlow and Bubble, so what is going to happen is that you will be able to build almost any kind of app, whether it is a web app or mobile app, and the feeling of using these tools and building with these tools is so much better. So again, we have code that is more complicated, it takes a lot of time, so we don't want it, so we close that. AI maybe is faster, it can build you something instantly, but usually builds you something that you don't want, and you have to make a lot of changes, so it actually becomes exactly what you want. And when it comes to changing your app application, making small changes, doing this with AI is such a pain in the head, and it's not worth it. So we close this as well, and that leaves us with FlutterFlow and Bubble.io, which are the most powerful no-code tools out there. Of course, you can use make.com for automations, but generally speaking, this like FlutterFlow and Bubble are the best for web apps and mobile apps. And building with these things are very powerful, and they actually give you a skill. So for example, when you go to my channel, for example, go to courses. So what's going to happen is that, like, if you take one of these courses, one is FlutterFlow for beginners, one is Bubble for beginners, you will learn a skill. So what is this skill? Is the ability to build a piece of software with no code. So that is a skill that you can use it to build your own apps, or that you can use to actually get clients. So people will pay for that skill, so you can build them their app. So people will not pay you if you can. So just imagine you say, hey, I can type in something in bold.ai, I can type in something here, and people will pay for that. No, if all you know is to use this bold.new, then people might just go ahead and use it on their own and don't pay for that. But when you say, hey, I know how to use Bubble, I know how to use FlutterFlow and Bubble, that's a valuable skill. That's a skill people will pay for. But I don't think this is a skill. Like, the only skill I see here is typing. All right, so this is why no code, as I told you, is the best option right now. So don't fall into the marketing lies behind AI. So it's not a scam, but again, the reality tells the opposite. AI can build you something instantly, but when it comes to editing, that's where you'll find out that AI is such a pain in the head. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Again, if you are interested in learning any of these, like we have FlutterFlow and Bubble.io, like both of them are beginners course. So if you like them, you can find them in my courses here on the channel, or in the link in the description down below. Of course, I will be adding more like FlutterFlow advanced course and Bubble advanced course. So I will be publishing everything here on the channel. So if you like it, you can subscribe, and I will notify you whenever I post something new. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in one of these courses.